Hey y'all, Alex from Music Hub here, and today we'll be doing a review of the 1999 biography by Benita Eisler called Byron, Child of Passion, Fool of Fame. George Gordon Byron, born the 22nd of January 1788 in London, died the 19th of April 1824 in Missolonghi, Greece. Known popularly as Lord Byron after he became a baron at the age of 10, Byron's life was the stuff of incredible drama filled with violence, political turmoil, and most famously, a sequence of love affairs that ranged from homosexuality, adultery, and even incest. At the time, all three of those were considered very scandalous offenses, and Byron ended up fleeing his home country of England to escape the backlash, living in Italy and Greece for the rest of his life. Despite his royal title, Byron's renown was also based heavily around his poetry, which gained a sort of mythical stature after his death for its combination of romantic language and cutting satire. I did read Don Juan as well as a few other assorted poems before going into this book here. However, I didn't make a separate video for it because as beautiful as the language was, I had my sort of hang-ups with the plot direction and the many tangents that Byron goes into, analyzing his own stature as a poet and criticizing other poets as well. I felt that in order to properly speak on it required a bit more context, and I was hoping that this book would provide it, and I'm happy to say that it did. The author is Benita Eisler, born the 24th of July, 1937 in New York City. Byron is Eisler's second biographical target following the 1991 book O'Keeffe and Stieglitz about painter Georgia O'Keeffe and her husband Alfred Stieglitz. Not a super high-profile biography, but well-received nonetheless, and it serves as proof that Eisler could document romance biographically in a compelling way. In that sense, she seems a fair match for the overwhelming mess that is Lord Byron's love life. And that's the thing about this book. You need to know what you're getting into with Byron, especially since the book is almost 900 pages long. There is a lot of sex, gossip, and bad blood in this biography, and as much as Eisler doesn't get caught up in the proto-tabloid nature of all of this, that doesn't mean our characters are innocent to this either. Byron's lovers, mistresses, and wife, singular, have frequent spats. There's tension, plenty of fights, and angry, visceral poetry from Byron. It's all a mess, but it's all compelling in a reality television sort of way. To emphasize Eisler's contributions to the narrative, though, she makes at least some effort to focus on Byron the poet, something which from my understanding, gets lost in a lot of other Byron biographies. She recognizes that poetic analysis isn't what most people came to the book for, so it's still deployed more sparingly than it might be for other poets, but it is there nonetheless. And I love that because, going back to Don Juan, it helps me recognize how much Byron's poetry reflects his lived experiences. Maybe that should have been obvious from the start, but even apart from the poets that he name drops in Don Juan, his mother is clearly a huge factor in his writing, to say nothing of his lovers and the locations he's in. Oh my God, how much he loves focusing on the locations that his characters are in, which just so happen to be the places that he happened to be residing at that particular time. That part near the 3/4 mark of Don Juan, where the character is sent off to fight in war, is such an eerie precedent to the situation that Byron would put himself in, which would then indirectly lead to his death. Not a hero's death per se, since it wasn't on the battlefield, but a premature one still, without a doubt. So all in all, this book is heavy on the detail and is probably as professional and even-handed a look at Lord Byron as you will get. If you just want the saucier details, I would look elsewhere, but as much as I would recommend this for anyone interested in Byron the human being and Byron the poet, I would also advise that you tread lightly. If you had little familiarity with him going into this, like I did, this book may get a little bit overwhelming for you. But that is it for this review. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, more reviews are to come. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time right here on Music Hub.